Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Anton, and today we're going to be taking a look at stage concepts that should be in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Now of course I've created some of them, and I've also edited some of them as well, so I will always leave the link in the description so you guys can check out the original image. And of course, these are all just my ideas, concepts, and if you guys have any suggestions, make sure to leave them down in the description. And anyway, let's take a look. So now, of course, any of these stages here could be in Smash, whether they have a character or not. Think about some of the Pictochat stages, and just some of the other stages in general that don't have a character from them, like Pilot Wings. But another one I can think of as well is the Electroplankton one. So yeah, not every stage will have a fighter. So the first one we're going to be taking a look at is Captain Toad, and this is the first level, which is Pluck You Past Beginnings, and I think that would be a perfect stage. Yes, Captain Toad didn't make it in, and he's a spirit, but there could still be a stage. How would this stage work, might you ask? Well, there'd be like that lever, which would be, you can pull it, and it would actually raise up the stage, so there would be some interactive elements as well. And it wouldn't turn or anything, it'd just be sideways, just like that. Yeah, there would be a lot of things. Maybe there'd also be some of those things that you can pluck out of the ground, the turnips. So there could be a bunch of different interesting interactive things. I'd also think that, as you can see, there is the dandelion, and it'd be also really cool if they had that effect when you run over it. It'd be able to just go everywhere. So I think that'd be an interesting effect. So yeah, that's my idea of how I think it would look like. Maybe there'd be some elements that aren't there. Then again, this is just concept. This isn't like how it would be. And trust me, if I could do a little more, I would. But you know, yeah, that's pretty much how I think it would work. They could also, let's say Captain Toad was in it. That'd probably be his stage as well. There already is the music in Smash Bros. As well in the Mario section. So yeah, I think that would be a fantastic stage if they were to put it in. And I mean, it could still happen. They have added stages in the past, especially in Smash 4. So, yeah, this was a stage I feel like. So let's take a look at the Battlefield one. So here, as we can see, is the Battlefield stage. And this is how it would look like. It'd be just flat, and doesn't mean just with the battle stages. And, you would have the two platforms, and that's pretty much how I think it would look like. Nothing too fancy going on. Maybe the clouds would move in the background like the other one. But yeah, you wouldn't have that part where it goes down. It'd just be really just flat. Maybe you'd have some extra detail in there to make it look a little nicer, maybe a little more vibrant, and yeah, pretty much that's what I think. And finally, this is the Omega stage, which has no platforms at all, and is just completely flat. So let's move on to our next stage. Something that I've always found weird is the fact that Dr. Mario isn't in Smash as a stage. Yes, he was brought back for Smash 4, but he's never had a stage in any game representing where we actually came from. And I'm surprised they haven't done it as a separate franchise, because I don't think it fits in the Super Mario franchise as much as they try to say that it's part of that. But honestly, he should have a stage, and apparently there was a so-and-so called leak for Smash 4 that had this kind of look, the stage. So what I've done is I've cleaned it up a little bit. I've changed some of the levels of lighting because it wasn't that great, and as you can see, that's how it would look like. They would have the pills falling down. You also have the germs as well. It would look very interesting, and I'm surprised they haven't done a stage like that. It would kind of be like the stuff would fall down, similar to the Nintendo stage. But yeah, pretty much that's how I think it would look like. We have the nice colors, Maybe the top and the score would also change, which would be something that probably would happen, at least I think so. You could even have like the speed level changing and stuff. There's a lot of stuff they could do with the stage. But yeah, that's pretty much, I'm surprised I haven't done a stage like this, and it'd be nice to even see it one day in Smash Ultimate. Of course, we can't forget the battle stage, and that would just have just 2 platforms of pills. I honestly think it would just be like that. Nothing fancy. Maybe they would change color, maybe. I don't 100% know. But something like that, I have an idea of maybe the score would change. I really don't know how that would work. But something really interesting with the stage, because I feel like it would have potentials. And you'd also see maybe the background, the jar would fill up. I don't know. There could be a whole bunch of things that it does, and I haven't mentioned. And finally, we have just a mega stage, and it would just be without those 2 platforms. Again, a lot of the same things I've said just about the platforms, of course. And yeah, it'd look pretty much like that. I don't know how much animation there would actually be, of course, because I can't animate this, and that would take a very long time, but as you can see, I think that looks pretty good. As you can see, it's not an ultimate specifically because of Link's non-Hylian tunic, so yeah, it would look like that. I'm surprised I haven't done a stage like this. This is something that I think should definitely 100% be there, and we'll see it eventually. Who knows? Steve is a pretty controversial character. It's either you like him or you don't. For me personally, I actually like Steve. Reason is because I played Minecraft for a very long time, and I just feel like there should be representation. Even if Steve doesn't get in as a fighter, I think a stage would definitely help, and it would probably be that the platform moves around. And you'd have like the mountain. That's how I would see it looking like. Maybe it goes to the overworld and stuff like that. Or even another idea is that it can even go through different biomes. For example, it goes in like desert. Maybe you enter a portal through the end. This could be a whole bunch of different things. But I feel like if they're going to do a stage, there might be overworld. Just because it's an easy level to track and it wouldn't be as difficult. Of course, you'd also have some of the slabs there as well as platforms. This one here would just move around. Maybe there'd be other stuff that interacts. I could see also a creeper being a assist trophy, but yeah, but let's stay with stages. That's more of assist trophies. I might do a video on that. Leave a like if you do want to see a video like that. But yeah, it would look like this. Maybe there'd be some other elements in there. Then again, that backdrop was created a very, very long time. This image as well is pretty old. When Minecraft was fairly new, so yeah, definitely there would be a lot more stuff there. Maybe a village in the background, who knows. As well, you'd also have the battlefield, and you'd also have the Omega stage. And overall, these stages, I have to say, look pretty nice. Maybe there'd be a little bit more color in there, because I feel like all that brown doesn't really contrast as well. Maybe they'd have more flowers and stuff like that. I've tried to do it as best as I could just to illustrate the concept and idea. And yeah, this is pretty much how I think it would look like. Maybe there'd be a little bit more detail in there. But overall, that's pretty much it. One of my favorite games of all time, possibly my favorite, is Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. And this game is amazing, and I feel like it's very unrepresented in anything. Yes, you do have spirits in Smash, which is pretty nice that they represent them in that way. But the game hasn't had a remake or a release. Even GameCube games haven't been re-released in general, and it's kind of interesting because Nintendo hasn't really touched the GameCube library at all. But Paper Mario Thousand Year Door is such a fantastic game, even the original one, and it's kind of ties back to this. And I feel like they should have the stage from Paper Mario Thousand Year Door when you're in the battle. It could also be very interesting, where you have, I mean, I don't know if maybe they'll be in 2D, because if some stages, such as Pac-Land and the Game & Watch stages, you are 2D, even though it appears like you're like pre-rendered sprites. So essentially you are 2D, but you're just looking like 3D. So maybe they would have, like if you played Thousand Year Door, you'd know that the backdrop breaks and stuff happens, such as there's a weight that falls, and maybe that could be part of it and deal a lot of damage. I don't know, maybe you could be able to pick that up. Maybe there'd be other stuff that happens as well. But overall, I feel like they could do something very interesting with the stage. The stage thing was more emphasized in Thousand Year Door than the original game. The original game, it's not really like people watching or anything, it's just a generic stage. Maybe there could be some stuff from that game as well, because I feel like the Paper Mario stage right now only represents the two newest games, Sticker Star and Color Splash. What also would be nice is that the backdrop could change and different things can happen. And even they can incorporate some of the real things that happen in the original game, such as maybe some of the people that are sitting in the audience can either throw stuff at you like the original game, and maybe you have to press an input or something to stop them from doing that, or they can either throw you items and give you stuff, and I feel like that would be such an interesting way. Instead of just items dropping on the ground, maybe they can be able to throw stuff at you. And there could be a little thing where maybe if the battle's getting really good, more and more of them will come, and if you're dealing more and more damage, it's getting very interesting. Maybe they're the ones that cheering when you hear the cheering noises. So there could be definitely a lot of stuff that they do with this stage. I feel like it's such a fantastic idea and concept, and I really, really wish that it was in the game, honestly. Thousand Year Door and the original are very unrepresentative, and this is what they could do to make it a little bit more interesting. Of course, for the battlefield, you would have two platforms as well. Pretty basic. Maybe you'd also be able to turn off the stage hazards as well. Maybe there'd be like, even Hooktail would be really cool as well. But the battlefield, nothing would really happen there. It would just be generic. And the Omega would just, maybe the background would change sometimes, but I don't know. Then again, they could do something very interesting. But yeah, I feel like Thousand Year Door definitely needs representation, and this is the way to do it. And finally, for our last stage, we're going to be taking a look at Super Mario Bros. 3. Yes, there is a Mushroom Kingdom too. But I feel like a Super Mario Bros. 3 stage should be there. I know Mario Maker, it's part of that as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it is. And yeah, there could definitely be a very nice setup with this where it's all 2D as well. Maybe you could have interesting things happening. But yes, it would be an interesting stage, because I feel like they have Mushroom Kingdom 2, so might as well do Mushroom Kingdom 3. And they already have Yoshi's Island, and they already have Super Mario Brothers. Yeah, and that's the same thing with Mario Maker, so there's no really reason of them not making a Super Mario Bros. 3. And there should be one, I think. One like this would be really good for 8 players. So I mean, this is just a concept, then again, so they could be totally different from how this looks. But this is how I would imagine looking at it. If there's going to be a battle stage, they would, of course, the battlefield would have, it'd be zoomed in, and it would be that everything else is in the background. That's how I would imagine looking like it. Where yeah, the two platforms, and then everything else would be just the background. That's how I would imagine it. And then, of course, for the Omega, it would just be just the ground. Of course, everything's zoomed up right again. And yeah, that's pretty much how it would look like. Anyway, guys, that brings us to the end of the video. Then again, these are just my ideas and concepts. Let me know down in the comments if you guys have any suggestions for any concepts and ideas. Of course, I do have a bit more. I could turn this into a series if you guys wanted to. But that's pretty much it. Of course, a lot of stages could happen, cannot. And of course, as we see the DLC characters coming, we could see maybe the Minecraft stage getting in, because there was, of course, going to be a stage part of the fighter. But that's pretty much it. I hope you guys did enjoy it. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and yeah, comment down below, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.